Nope. Don't say anything else. Start the show. Let's go.
Yes,
Save it
ma'am.
for the show.
3, 2.
RuPaul Drag Race.
Hey, kitty girls, it is Tuesday, July 21st of 2020. Welcome to Cubs Out Loud Drag Race T-Time All-Stars Season 5, episode number Lucky 7, a.k.a. StandUp Smackdown. For those of you that have... yeah, stand up to get smacked down. For those of you that have not paid attention or been around, and this is your first time, hi, welcome. We're almost at the end of the season, so go back and listen to the other stuff. And if you don't know who we are, there are two fabulous co-stars here. I am Gary, and with me here is...
Everyone, is Damon. Welcome. I always forget which side is... Fucking, I don't care.
It's all right.
Every time.
Well, I don't swap it, so I do it enough that I remember it's always like, yeah, it's opposite what I think it is. But
yeah, I should probably just go, boop. Nope, wrong.
Your other left, girl. So,
welcome.
You ready to get into this?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's talk about our first subject topic area.
Gentlemen, start your engines, and may the best woman win.
Okay, so it's episode 7. We're down to the top 4. And it's a stand-up Smackdown comedy challenge at RuPaul's Shady Shack. So the title lends to the fact that it's a comedy stand-up like gig, like Night at the Improv. But it's called Smackdown, and it's a Shady Shack. So I would think that one would like be interpreting the reading challenge, only like in front of a live audience with a microphone.
Maybe.
So that being said, Damon, what did you think of this challenge? There was no mini. It was immediately like right into the backseat, and Ms. Cracker, because she won last week, she gets to pick the order, which there was drama about that.
So, big fat fucking spoiler alert if you haven't seen the episode.
That's true.
Yeah. I literally put down Ms. Cracker for the win. So kind of, I'm not going to like gloss over and then say goodnight, but that's, what I'm saying here is Ms. Cracker came into this episode. She had just won last week, and she gets the task of putting the queens in the order for a comedy challenge. Ms. Cracker has already shown to us that she is funny. She is good with the jokes. She's a laugh out riot. So essentially, and then on top of that, she then gets to pick the order. So boom, what other thing could we have possibly given her to make this work for her? Other than here's your writer, here's your assistant, here are your jokes, here you go. You can run them past these people, but literally handing her a silver platter of this challenge. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yes, there was drama in regards to what she was doing, and I don't mind it as much. She literally said, I'm just paraphrasing in a sense, I'm here to win, so fuck you all. Point blank period. She gave exactly why she did what she did. She told them up front, I will admit, I just watched Pit Stop with Bob and Monet, and I kind of agree with Bob in a little bit. Like maybe you should have kept that to yourself. But on the flip of that, I kind of think like, okay, here you go. Like, this is this is all that I'm doing. This is the reason why I'm doing it. You know, I am pretty much literally fucking you all over. Good luck with that. Like, so yeah, I'm like, go Miss Cracker. Like, do that shit. Guarantee your spot in the top 3. Like, bing, bang, boom. Gary?
Um, I said misdirections and the tragic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So, overall it was okay. Like, so the story is Juju's nervous about going first until she gets in front of Jane Krakowski, the special guest judge, and Ross Matthews, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck this place up," like, because Jane tells her, but going first means you get to set the pace. Like, everybody else has to like work off of you, so that's actually the best place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that, you know, the Juju's like, "Oh, this is good for Juju. I'm good. Like, I'm cool." Like, so that whole thing like resolves itself really quickly. Blair comes in, tells all these jokes. They think for the most part they're funny. They tell her to edit, so she's very confident. Cracker comes in, is too much in her head, gets some good like feedback, some good notes. Needs to like, you know, rework on it. Shay has this whole like, I was up all night, I, you know, couldn't think of anything, my stomach is in knots, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, blah blah blah. You know, she goes in, they're like, like, Ross gives her an excellent note and is like, "You remind me a lot of Whoopi," and Whoopi tells stories that are funny, that are jokes, but like they take you on a journey. Like, don't think of yourself as so much like a yuck, like, you know, like, I gotta tell a zinger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was, you know, pretty good. And she decides that she's gonna go full out gorge in her look when she does her comedy routine, because she figures if she's gonna bomb, she might as well look fabulous, which I was like, well, I don't disagree with this as an idea. So I feel like there was a bunch of like misdirection in the edit, and also like in the feelings that they were having and stuff. So Juju comes out, she opens, she kind of doesn't do good the first like minute, and then she gets on course and she improves.
Yeah.
She ends well. I mean, one of her best lines was she was like, "Well, I only have one blonde joke, but she's sitting over there," and I was like, and I was like, "Okay, we gotta sing." She singed. And see, there was a little bit of that in some of them, but that's where I was like pointing out the name of the challenge, like in the location. I'm like, I really think you guys missed the idea, right? Like you could have gone full bore like for the read on each other. And sometimes that happens in a comedy stand-up, like, you know, that they'll make jokes a little bit about each other, which is how I felt it kind of went. And I was like, like no one's really like cutting for each other. So yeah, we'll just briefly talk about this. If you've seen the episode, you know what happens to Blair.
Oh God, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Like, okay, y'all. Okay, I was like Monet mentioned in the challenge. Like, there are moments during her set, like I could not like look at the TV. It was just going so bad, like burning in flames, like so bad. These things were not landing, and then just like then you make like cracks about the guest that aren't good at all, like at all, like at all. Like I mean, like I know I'm saying this, but like holy shit, like you, ooh, oh, like I'm like turning in my like on the couch, like I can't, no. It was just bad. It was just bad.
We all have choices. Some of us make the wrong ones.
I think she made several wrong choices.
Yeah.
A lot. Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
It was painful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first two painful moments of the entire episode. We'll get to the second one later. So, Cracker's up third. She does rather well.
Oh, yeah.
She brought her book with her to help keep her on track.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little concerned because I was like, Juju had a notebook. Blair had her infamous notebook, which failed her. And then Cracker, and I was kind of like, okay, kids, like, this is a little disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shay gets up there. And Shay just goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually does rather well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't knock it out of the park and, like, it gut busting and everything.
Yeah.
But I will say that the dig she got on Cracker about being a puppet, I did not see that coming. And then when she, like, nailed the punchline, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, she decided to do that. I'm like, in front of this crowd. I was like, I'm not sure how many people in the crowd are into fisting or all that comfortable, but you just went there, girl. Yeah. So.
I was impressed with Shay. Like I thought she did well considering the narrative we were given prior to the episode.
Right.
Having said that, if I were to give like if we're gonna go like in the sportsy metaphors, I would probably give it like a double or a triple as opposed to like a home run kind of thing. Like it hit, you hit the ball, you made a hit, but you didn't score.
Right.
You didn't like knock it out of the park. It wasn't a grand slam, all that shit. It was okay. Could have been better. Could have been a lot worse.
True.
Yeah. So
very true.
And she looked great. Like I don't know. I don't know what she was going for with that idea, with the big like gown, like tulle, like multi-leg gown, but it fucking was beautiful. Whereas like what Cracker and Juju wore like cocktail dresses, and not Cracker, Blair. I've totally forgot Blair because
Yeah.
Blair and Juju wore cocktail dresses. Cracker wore like a jumpsuit or cat suit with like some big bell sleeves.
Right.
So it just kind of it worked. I was finding it interesting. Everyone kind of wore shades of blue, and then Shay comes in this big ass red dress. I don't know if that was intentional, but
well, I mean, she did say in the workroom, Juju was like, "What's that for?" And Shay's like, "It's for the challenge." And the look on Juju's face, that's what she says. You know, if I'm not going to do well, I at least want to look, my best. And I was like, that's an interesting tactic. Which, to be fair, I think if she'd gone harder on all the digs and everything and the shade, it would have been even better, because you wouldn't expect a queen that looks that beautiful to be that cutthroat necessarily. Like, I think she could have amped up and done a little bit of a characterization of herself. and come up and have been very nice, very prim, proper. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, kind of almost aristocratic, like a caricature in a way, you know, and then deliver some of the like most hateful, like shitty, you know, things to say about other people, kind of a thing. But that wasn't her set. Like, she didn't have a whole set made out of that. But I think if she did, like, that would have been the juxtaposition. Like, that would have been the irony of being like looking at this beautiful woman and being like, she's filthy, but she's beautiful, but she's gross, but she's, you know, I mean, but like, you know, so yeah, I don't know. The crowd was not a very big crowd. I found that interesting. And of course, you know, the name of the game is to make Rue laugh. But yeah, I agree. Going for the judges panel is not necessarily a good thing. Like, you really have to kind of be careful about it. And Ross surprised me, like, and it was very confusing, even in what they showed, when Blair was like, da 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 da, and he was like, be careful, and she's like, oh, okay, and he's like, no, I'm joking, like, I mean, really go for it. And I'm like, like, that moment seemed confusing, and then how she does not go well, and one of her best jokes doesn't even make it into the set. Like, it was so, I was like, yeah, you really kind of led her astray, I think. I'm not blaming the judges. I'm just saying, like, the way the feedback came across, it wasn't necessarily the most concrete. So, you ready to move on to the next segment? All right.
Cover down. Put the bass in your walk.
All right, it's time to stomp the runway. We're going to talk about this week's runway theme, which is, well, okay, so what I wrote on the doc is not actually the theme. What I wrote is what Rue says the first time when she's standing on the runway. But then when she introduces the theme, while she's sitting with the judges, she says it differently. She leaves out the first word. And it bugs me. Because the first time she says it, when she stands on the runway, she's like, "Ah, freak out." Which, of course, everybody knows that song. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, I got you, Boogaloo." Like, I mean, this, you know, like, we're setting a, you know, a tempo. We're setting a thing. Like, you know. But then when she sits on the judges panel, she's like, you know, runway theme is freak out.
Freak out.
And I was like,
bitch, shut up.
Wait, what? I was like, I thought it was all freak out. Like, is there a copyright on that? Like, you can only say it once? Like, what the fuck? I don't think that's trademarked.
Like, nope.
Right. Like, I don't know if the judge, like, if the producers came in and, like, you know, said something in her ear or whatever, in her earpiece. I don't know. I was just kind of annoyed. So, anyways, freak out are the words used for this runway challenge. Damon.
Okay, so
wait. Should I play this first?
That was a choice.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, and maybe you can help me, Gary.
Yeah.
When you hear the word freak out, what do you think of?
Well, so here's I'm going to make a statement that doesn't answer your question because I think I know what you're getting at. I don't think that was on the paperwork the queens got. Because two of the queens infamously look like they got the same memo compared to the other queens. So I don't know what the words were that were used, but I doubt very highly that the paperwork said freak out. I think the producers chose that as the theme, and I think that's actually the way it works. Like, I think you get a description. Like, Trixie Mattel just did on her own channel a review of her All-Stars 3 looks, and she said the one look that she brought, it said dripping in flowers. but that was not the actual name of the runway category theme.
Yeah.
And she got critiqued for wearing too many flowers. And she was like, it was not too many flowers. It was all the flowers, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Thank you very much. Yeah, like, yeah.
So that makes me think that the queens are playing a guessing game when they're given a concept of what to base a look off of.
Okay. I
So
can give you that.
now I will answer your question. If I read freak out, if they actually use the words,
Yeah.
there's a couple different directions to go.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me would be intrigued to do something like scary gore.
Yeah.
Or it would be like unexpected, but not like, oh, this is opposite of me, but like really wild, exaggerated, like high camp.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Ivy Winters, Marie Antoinette on stilts.
Yeah.
Walking around eating cake with a guillotine that's automatically moving in my wig. Do you know what I mean? Like, just like, like Cirque du Soleil crazy bullshit. Like, you're just kind of like, what in the hell am I watching?
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of on the track that I am. Like, I'm thinking of something that's gonna like freak my mind out.
Okay.
Is what I'm getting at. What I feel they got was I can't even say, like, I got a lot of, like, they kept talking about like Club Kid, like the very Club Kid kind of thing, which they have done as a runway in the past. And if that had been what it was supposed to be, I would have been fine with that, and I would have been fine with 3 of the 4 looks that were on the runway. Having said that, I don't know what the memo was.
Right.
And if I look at these looks side by side, one person sticks out very, very much. The other 3 kind of go together. And you know, the 2, well, no, let me rephrase. Sorry. One of them sticks out not necessarily in a good way. 2 of them look like they went to the same party, as Rattler and Raven mentioned in Fashion Photo Review. 2 of them kind of look like they got the invitation to the same party, and they're going to that party. One of them went very far and out of their comfort zone in a way, and we got something very like unique and maybe kind of freakish in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I say I'm curious because I'm like, I want to know what the memo was that they actually got about what this runway was supposed to be. Because to me, it had to have said something a la Club Kids, or a la like something along those lines. Because the other freak out I think of is going to like 60s and like the rebels freaking out the squares, you know, kind of thing, where like you kind of get that like the mod kind of vibe and whatever. But again, I didn't see that either. So who knows? Gary?
Like, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe it isn't so much the look, maybe it's the presentation. Maybe if somebody had done like a magic trick where they like cut themselves in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just thinking, if you could pull off the visual stunt of Death Becomes Her with a hole in your like torso to look through, like just something like completely wild and unexpected that would be freaky, then yes. Make it look like you are literally crawling with live insects all over you. You know, like
the freak show.
Yeah.
Like carnival, freak show kind of thing.
Yes.
Like that would be the other thing. Like that's kind of like my third, like there were 3 things that came to my mind when I heard the words freak show. And those were the 3. Like
So, I said, huh. I will say this. Jujubee's was the most complete of all the looks.
Mm-hmm.
It was cohesive from above her head, from the very tip points, all the way down to the platform shoes. Like the chain links definitely enhanced it, because otherwise
It would have been a bodysuit.
it would have what?
It would have been a bodysuit.
Right. And so like, and it wouldn't have like, it would have been like, it's missing something. So like, I definitely think like the chain link with the materials helped a lot, and it helped put things in a perspective, and like really was kind of this like court jester, like madhouse, kind of. And so I was like, okay, girl, like, all right, I got it. And then, Blair comes out, and I was like, what in the gay hell? Her version of an Alice in Wonderland Cheshire cat, like, that's what she said in the voiceover. And I was like, I'm not getting that, girl. Like, I'm getting furry adjacent, like, party goer. Do you know what I mean? Like you're going out at Halloween like a furry, what you think a furry is. Like, it was just, it wasn't wrong. It was just different. And
like, how do I put it? There was something off. Like, it looked like two things, because it literally was kind of two things. Because you had the Dalmatian print on the bodysuit that she was wearing behind it, and then on top of it, she had the purple and pink like Cheshire cat. Like, I get that. Like, those are the kind of colors that you get when you think of the Cheshire cat, because those were Alice in Wonderland kind of the colors there, with the big tail and all that stuff. Although I hated the way that the little panty like fit. It obviously had to be big to hold on to the tail, but like it didn't work for me. It looked awful. It looked so bad on her small ass frame.
Yeah.
And then like you've got this really done up hair. I think you were trying to maybe go for cat ears, but you didn't get that far. And I don't understand why you didn't just get like cat ears made with the fabric that you use for the bra and panty and tail. Like, maybe cut some of the tail off and made the cat ears, like just something. Because that would have at least made it kind of a little bit more cohesive. Because I get that you had the mask with the smile on it. Like, I got what you were maybe trying to throw, but it was lost in like all of the mishmashy like elements. Because then you went, you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw like on a little coat or whatever that thing was, and have all this like multiple color, like weirdly rainbow colored like shit on me, and it just it was too many things.
Yeah.
Like, there are too many things, and the idea was lost, as it were. I think Raven in Fashion Review, I would have loved it, because Blair has always been known for being this like very like done up like model, makeup thing. I would have loved it if she had done what Raven said, and when she took off the mask, she still had the smile like painted on her face. Like, that would have been like so not Blair. I would have been like, okay, that's fun. That's cute.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. And while Shay had a somewhat cohesive look, she definitely looked like she was going to the ball, honey. Like, she looked like she was going to a night rave, to party.
Yeah.
And the two-piece harnessy like over top was too similar in color to the bodysuit underneath. Like it should have been a shocking opposite color wheel,
Mm-hmm.
like something that really stands out. Like, but it just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was,
She should have done like a neon green or something, like just like.
yeah.
And Cracker, like that's the thing. Like what was Cracker's memo? Like what did Cracker get? Because I think he thought the like macabre, like horror, like freak show kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I think she was going for with the big like big like crow mask and kind of steampunk crow mask. I forget what they're called. And the coat, and then she comes out. She takes all this off, and she's in a jeweled, dark jeweled bodysuit kind of thing with the two different colored eyes and the long hair. Like it, I don't think they work together. And I feel like you could have done something else.
Mm-hmm. My issue with Cracker is that I feel like she borrowed the bodysuit and did not think about how to enhance it. And by that I mean the bodysuit fits her. It works. I didn't have a problem with her going from the like 1800s death doctor creepy like big, like I admit even Bob said like the head was a little too big, like proportionally there was something like off about it. But like she takes the mask thing off, right? And the and whatever and does the reveal. But one of the first things I noticed was like, girl, what's wrong with your makeup? Like you're wearing a bodysuit that is multiple shades of gray to black underneath, and it goes all the way up your neck. Like to your like underneath, to you here, and then it just stops. Like, and it's colored the whole way. So it looks like a neck, and then it just stops. Like, and I kept thinking, like, why did you not try to do makeup to blend? Like, to go off of that, to do dark lines that come up with some gray, even if you ombrade it, like you faded it to your real makeup. Do you know what I mean? Like something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just confused because I was like, okay, the head looks totally disconnected from the body. Like, I don't understand. And the two different color eyes and the black hair thing. Like, I was just like, and her thing was, death is a hoe. When I was like, okay, I guess. Like, honestly, it kept making me go back to think about the villain in, help me, Damon. The DC Universe movie.
Oh, the Enchantress.
Yes.
From
Death Squad?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. That's what it kept making me think of.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a miss. Like it was,
yeah.
And all I was thinking was like, that would have been more interesting and kind of crazy if she'd had a hidden headdress underneath the mask. Do you know what I mean? That was like attached to the back of her hair and like flattened. And then when she took off the mask, she had this look.
It came up.
Right. She had this, and then, she kind of like pulled some pulleys or some shit, and then it like, kind of furled out or whatever. Like, I think that would have been like a lot more. I don't.
It would have been like the freakish moment kind of thing that you would have gotten. Like the two, like the crow mask and the coat didn't match with the outfit that was underneath it. It didn't there wasn't a cohesive link to the two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like not really. And then the look underneath was, while gorgeous, was not really, I didn't want gorgeous in a freak out moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. You ready to move on to our next segment?
Sure thing.
All right. So let's talk about the lipstick for your legacy. So,
you going to play the clip?
I am, but I'm going to set it up.
I'm going to preface.
Cracker is the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets her, what, 4th win?
Second win.
Third
Third win. Third
I
win.
thought this was her 4th.
This is her third win. She's won twice before.
Okay. So she gets the win. She gets a crazy ass prize. And everybody else is in the bottom.
Mhm.
So now the heat is on because we have 3 other contestants. And you and I had already had this discussion. We felt like one was definitively the one that needed to go and was in the bottom.
Mhm.
But it's difficult because Cracker's the only one that's like sealed the deal to make it to the finale.
Mhm.
And now the others have to figure out how they're going to vote. Because if Cracker wins, the pressure's on her to eliminate somebody. And it's more honestly a matter of like, do I get rid of the person that should be gotten rid of based on how they've been doing overall? Or should I get rid of one of my competitors?
Mhm.
And then you have, you know, the other 3 trying to figure out amongst them who's going to select. And what I would have found interesting is if we don't know this yet, at least I don't, I'll say this as of airing, who picked who, but I would have found it interesting if they all picked someone different, which meant a 3-way tie. You know, like this one picks this one, and then that one picks the other one, and then that one picks the one that picks the first one. You know what I mean? And it just like it goes round robin. I would have found that very funny and interesting. So, yet again, we have a dramatic lead in to this moment.
The time has come to present this week's Lip Sync Assassin. Reveal yourself. Excuse me, we're over here. Hi, girl.
All right, so I just want to talk about the entrance.
Uh-huh.
My favorite part of all of this is that the queen was not facing to the front.
Uh-huh.
And Rue ends up saying, we're over here. And I was like, best entrance ever.
Mm-hmm.
So the diva move. Because I was like, you still don't know who the fuck it is. And then the queen turns around. And we all learn that it's Kennedy Davenport.
And I would have done what Cracker did and walked the fuck off the stage.
I know. I was like, Cracker truly is a comedic queen, and was so funny because she was like, oh, let me pick up my dress. I'm going to walk off the stage. I'm just going to go sit over here. Like,
Bye.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
So, yeah. So we know that it's Kennedy, and then, yeah, this.
The time has come. The music for your legacy. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
I mean,
Rue's last words are, don't fuck it up.
That was a choice.
And that's all I feel like I could say about this. Like, before you get into your thoughts and I get into my thought, because I think we're kind of on the same page. I'm not really sure.
mm-hmm.
I am now concerned that on the YouTube series of videos that will pop up in the future for me, like the top 5, top 10 worst moments in Drag Race history, this lip sync will be one of them, if not towards the top of the list. So, you go first, and then, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see if I have much different to say, maybe. I don't know.
So, like, we see Kennedy. Kennedy motherfucking Davenport. We know her. We have seen her perform on this show so often. She is a dancer. She is a gymnast. She can shablam and splits and splats and turn dives and fucking, all that shit. She can do all of that. And we know that. And that's what you would be afraid of. Like I said, if Kaylee Davenport in a lip sync assassination walked onto the stage, I would literally walk off the stage and be like, right. I don't care if I didn't get that $10,000. It would have been like this. We don't even, I mean, just let her do it.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Forfeit.
Yeah, like I forfeit. Like, done. Out. Like, they done did her wrong, y'all.
So here's my question.
They done did her. Uh-huh.
Do you think they done did her wrong because of the song choice?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the meat of what I think we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So the song is Fancy by Reba McEntire. The moment it starts playing, I am both excited and very confused. I know the song. I know the song in my soul. Like, I used to be into country in the 90s. I thirsted after Garth Brooks in the worst way for a while. So I am part of the Garth Brooks, Lori Morgan, Judds, like, era of country. I have seen Reba 2 to 3 times live in concert perform Fancy. I have helped my best friend from high school perform this for a title competition as the talent portion to do the reveal to the red dress. I am far too acquainted with this song and this number. So that's why I am both excited and fucking confused as shit. Because I am like, oh my God, this is an amazing song. But what? It's not even a dance mix version. It's the real deal. And I have a funny feeling they did the whole song, even though the edit cuts it. Jump to the end. Cracker, Rue says, there's a lot of words in that song. Cracker immediately goes, words? Did Kennedy, did you notice the words?
Yeah. Like,
holy shit.
For a lip sync, like a general like lip sync, I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, it is a wordy song, which is a very difficult lip sync to do. Like any drag queen will tell you, like, it is a difficult song to lip sync. I will say that like point blank period. However, you don't bring Kaylee Davenport, the dancing fucking queen of the millennia, to do a slow, sultry country song. Like, you just don't. That's like a waste of her time and her talent and her ability. I'm sure she could probably lip sync the fucking house down with the song, like just standing there, like whatever. But like, Kaylee moves, Kaylee dances, Kaylee likes, like there's that's the air that Kaylee has always brought.
Right.
And for them to like bring her in as the assassin and use this song is like bullshit. Like I literally wrote bullshit. Like, 'cause that was my, like, I wrote waste of Kaylee Davenport. Waste of Kaylee Davenport. Like, full on waste of her. Like, why? What? Why? Was everyone else busy? Like, was no one available? Like, you got what I wanted, which, like, in the beginning with the, like, it's Kaylee fucking Davenport. Nobody's beating her. Like, I'm just going to put it out there. You're not going to beat her. Unless you give her a janky ass song. Okay, wait, that's wrong. I don't mean that. What I mean is you give her a song that she's not going to be able to pour the house down with. And I get it, like a challenge for a queen is to like do that shit, but that's not the purpose of the assassin. The purpose of the assassin is to assassinate. Like, right? Like the whole goal essentially is the lip sync assassin beats the all-star that has won the challenge. Like, that's the whole goal.
Thank you.
So like like therefore you should pick an assassin that can perform the song well and do something amazing with it, that it outshines the competition. Kennedy, I'm gonna just put it out there. I highly doubt Kennedy knew this song before this, challenge. She might know of it, but I doubt she knew all the words. And I maybe, fault Kennedy. She may know this song. She may have even fucking performed this song before. But like, for the sake of, I don't know. I doubt it. But you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at Gary's face.
I'm shaking my head no, because I watched her. She didn't know the words. Some of the time,
There's a lot of,
she did not know the
some of the time.
words.
Yeah, but I hate to say that that's sometimes Kennedy too.
She floor dusted the fuck out of that stage.
Look at that duster.
She did.
Yeah.
It was so. All right, so I said.
Go ahead.
This was awkward.
Yeah. Yes.
So, Cracker starts performing. Kennedy starts performing. Cracker is in front of the judges. Kennedy's to the far side. Kennedy moves around. Cracker moves around. In the midst of the performance, you get like a diagonal shot across the whole stage. And you see the other three, the bottom three. Blair is lip syncing along to the song. Blair knows this song.
Mm-hmm.
And loves this song. I could tell. And I was like, oh, this is even more awkward. Because the queen that should be competing to win this lip sync is not up on the stage. She is sitting on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
So Cracker's prancing around in a cocktail dress with long blonde hair. Nothing matching at all to the song. Yeah. And Kennedy is trapped in her outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's wearing like
a white duster.
Yeah, it's a white and black duster with a black corset over top of a
red. The top was red. I know.
It was a bodysuit.
Okay.
Like the top of the bottom matched, but it was red. And so I was like, fuck, Kennedy can't even do a reveal. Do you know what I mean? As part of the song, like she can't even take the duster because it's actually inside of the corset.
Mm-hmm.
She can't like bring it around for the beginning of the song to do hand gestures and movements and try to keep it closed, sort of, until you get to the reveal in the song when you talk about the dress. Granted, you're not wearing a dress. Do you know what I mean? It was just like.
Yeah.
It was just, there were so many missed things.
Like I'm looking at the dress. Like I'm looking at Miss Cracker and I'm kind of like, what the fuck are you wearing? Ooh.
She reminded me of like a really bad Elsa that you invite to a party. Or like maybe it's part of like a pixie fairy kind of outfit or something. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's honestly, it's not even a meet and greet. It's a cocktail, like before the
Yeah.
show, like you walk around, maybe photo op, like. So yeah, I thought this was awkward.
It's just so like I'm looking at it again right now as we're recording, and I'm seeing like Kennedy, like she doesn't. I mean, I don't even like. I'm looking at this right now, and I feel like Kennedy's not even really giving it her all.
No, she's not. No.
She's kind of like, I'll just jump and flit and float this thing around and da 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 da.
She did a lot of
Here
this.
we go.
A lot of this.
Uh huh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Dust on the floor.
Really do.
I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna move over here. Da, 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 da. Whoop, whoop. I was like, what is going on?
Like she's just skipping around the fucking stage. Like it is just
And it gets crazier if you watch Untucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because she arrives, which is great to see, and then she's in her room and she's getting ready and she's working on another hair that she does not wear on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that hair is actually Reba hair.
Mm-hmm.
That hair is red and it is big. It's got like, you know, this big coif wave or whatever. And she said, I just brought this to have something to fuss with. Like, I don't even think I'm going to wear it. And I'm like, we already know, girl, you did not wear it. And while the hair you were wearing was great and it was really high back on your forehead.
I mean, that's what she.
And big, but I was like, you would have looked better if you wore the other hair, I think. like, come on. She just. So I was like obviously, spoiler alert, Cracker was meant to win.
I mean, truth. Like I will say this, and again, like I'm gonna put it like this, and I'm gonna say this again because I feel like again, disservice to Miss Kennedy. Again, there was no chance for the assassin to win because the whole thing is like to carry the money over to the next week. Well, next week's the finale, so. Are they gonna do like you can't really have a winner and do a lip sync with an assassin?
Well, why they got to pay anybody money? They could have just bankrolled it.
I mean, true, they could have just done that, but like that's the whole thing, is that it gets rolled over. Well, they couldn't have rolled it over because there's no week to roll it over to. So literally, this was Miss Crackers to win. Like there was very little that would have stopped her from winning, and unfortunately, that showed. This was the weakest ass lip sync I have seen in a long time.
Yeah,
like in a long time. And I have seen Fancy performed by drag queens. Mm-hmm. The song in and of itself is a beautiful fucking story. Well, not beautiful, but you get what I mean. Like the whole idea behind the song is that this story.
Well, it's very theatrical.
Yeah, and I have seen like queens do that and go that far, like go that route with it. Now, not the red dress reveal. I would have loved that shit. I don't know what your friend did, but like,
I'll tell you.
Kudos for that. Yeah, like pop to that shit. But like, that's the whole like goal here is to like, this is almost a like stand in one spot, perform and emote, or move around the stage here and there, but you kind of like stand and you are there lip syncing those fucking words that are coming out at like, you know, mile a minute kind of thing. Like this is one of those songs, like the whole point of this song is to lip sync it.
You know it's bad when both queens turn backstage at the exact same moment. I'm serious. When Cracker and Kennedy both turned backwards at the same moment towards the end of the song and then came forward, turned around, I was like, what the fuck was that bullshit? And it was towards the end of the song, and then shortly thereafter, Cracker makes the quip after, Rue's like, there were a lot of words in that song. And I was like, I think Rue was prompted in her earpiece to say that because of how it went. Like, I think the producers and Rue, like even the judges, were probably surprised as to how it went. I think they had expected to go better, and I was like, oh yeah, y'all missed the mark.
Yeah.
Like, you miscalculated.
Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah.
like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, good God, this is so bad. And then, oh gosh, the dress, like, her fucking dress gets stuck in her damn Miss Cracker's dress.
Oh
gets
yeah,
stuck.
it gets stuck in her undergarments weirdly, like when she does a somersault.
She did a somersault, yeah.
And
or
then
a
she
flip,
like has to
or a cartwheel.
turn away and pull it out, and like I was just like, what in the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I want to look at the comments on here.
Oh God. So while you're looking at the comments, surprise,
Yeah, we can
surprise,
move on.
surprise, Cracker wins. So her lipstick has to be revealed, and I was like, well, that sucks for Cracker because she doesn't get to hide behind what the group chose. She has to reveal her choice. And she does what I guess is, quote unquote, the right thing. And by that I mean she chooses Blair to go home. I don't think very many people other than Blair fans will disagree that Blair should go home because she had not won any competition, like, challenges or anything. And had not, like, she was doing really good, but she just wasn't doing that great. And so it made the most sense that she should go home. It seems like that would have been the choice that Rue would have made, the judges would have made. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Cracker, by doing the right thing, quote unquote, eliminated the non-competition, so to speak. But it does make it harder on her because now it's going to be her and Juju and Shay going into the finale. The reality is she could have knocked out Shay or Juju. If she really wanted to, like, upset the apple cart, she would have knocked out Juju and gone head-to-head with Shay. But if you're doing the calculation in your head and you know how popular Shay is, you probably think that's a dumbass move.
Yep.
So you should take out Shay and go up against Juju. For maybe a more even, possibly even, like, if it's truly up to the fans, whatever. So, yeah, that's where we end up with the three. So, let's go over the last segment, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. All right, children, it's time for the snaps and the eye rolls, a.k.a. the highs and the lows, the hits, the misses of the episode. Damon, who you giving snaps to?
I'm going to give snacks to Miss Snacks. I'm going to give snacks.
Girl, I got goldfish crackers, I got popcorn, I got pretzels, I got M&Ms, I got Skittles, I got, I got the whole candy aisle.
Popcorn chicken. Here you go, Juju.
There's your chicken, girlfriend.
I'm going to give snaps to Juju's runway.
Okay.
I thought it was, again, out of her comfort zone in a sense. It looked amazing. I don't know who made it. I love the contrasting, like, similar patterns, but the contrasting colors, and them contrasting a little bit too. The big platform shoes, from, like you said, from the head to the feet with the points, everything just worked well. I loved her makeup with the, like, tear, like glitter crystal tear thing going. Like, oh my God, like, go ahead, girl. That's like, when you take a mask off, that's a reveal because it looks totally different than what you're seeing already. And the big, like, chain that she carried, like, as a boa, like, everything just worked so well. So props, snaps, kudos to Miss Jujubee and whoever designed this. So yeah.
I can't disagree. She executed a really good look.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. Yeah. I'm gonna give my snaps to constructive feedback because I feel like when they got the chance to talk with Jane Krakowski and for their comedy set and with Ross, I honestly felt like everything they said was good stuff. Like nobody was just talking to talk shit or making it hard on them.
Yeah.
And you know, I appreciated the way things went. I do think perhaps Blair was a little Twitter pated with Jane Krakowski and vice versa. And maybe that's where like Blair just wasn't in the moment accurately and understanding what needed to happen. Possibly, you know, Ross and Jane misled her and we're like, oh, you have some good stuff there. You just need to edit it down. Because when she edited it down, she went the wrong direction. So yeah, there's that.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm just reading one of the comments on that video of the lip sync, and it says Kenji Davenport, the dancing diva of Texas, and it said producers, how about this mid-tempo Reba song? Like, it just caught my tickle in my funny. It was funny.
So that being said, Damon, what are your eye rolls for the episode?
Speaking of this shit, I put lip sync for your what? Like, as we kind of expounded on earlier, literally, bleh. This was a waste of, they did Kidney dirty. This was a waste of her talents and abilities. This was a bad choice of a song. I think for both of them, the lip sync just looks awful. It looks like they're just trying to make it through. No one really like works. Like nothing really works at all. It just like it flatlines, and then like even like worse, like flat, and then blah, blah, like just even worse, and then blah, like it just falls off the cliff. Like it's just so bad.
Yeah.
And given what this was supposed to be, like the assassin thing, the whole theme, like this was just one of these like really awful, awkward, odd like moments that just did not work well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think in yours too. It just was not a good lip sync, and it was not a good choice. It was a bad lip sync. I don't even want to say not good. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad lip sync. The song is fine. It needed different queens to perform it. And I know that they don't necessarily have a choice in that matter, but like I'll put it like this. I will say this in the nicest way I know how. This song does not need to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. Period. Like I that's the way I feel about it. Like everything else that went wrong in this, but on top of this, like no. Like this is not a, it is a 20-30-year-old song potentially. Gary's gonna look it up. Thank you. It is a mid-tempo song. It's one of those worst like moments. It is not too fast. It is not too slow. It's country. Usually there's not a whole lot of wrong with country sometimes, but like country is a genre that has a particular niche.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm adding all these layers, and then finally like it's a wordy ass song. So you have to pay attention or else you lose the beauty of the song. It is a beautiful song, but it is not, I don't think it is Drag Race appropriate. Like point blank period. Like it should not have been on Drag Race at all.
So I was just thinking about this. So one, you are accurate. It is 30 years old. It came out in 1990.
Ooh,
so snaps to you for that, girl.
That was
because we old. Here's the other thing. I was just thinking about it. And I was like, other Reba songs would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how psychotic would it have been if they gave them Does He Love You? The duet between Reba McEntire and Linda Davis, which later turned into Reba McEntire and Kelly Clarkson, where both of them have roles.
Mm-hmm.
Because fairly quickly, Kennedy could have taken one part, Cracker could have taken the other. And even more crazy, they could have played it up as, like, lesbian lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Like how sometimes that gets evoked in a lip sync, that the two queens are being sexy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would have been way better than what we saw. It's just, it's crazy.
Different, like, country songs, like pop country songs. Not Reba McEntire, but like Shania Twain. Her name just left my fucking head. Carrie Underwood, like, or older Taylor Swift, like, you know, things like that would have been like a little bit just something better. So
I mean,
yeah.
The thing is that this song kind of felt melancholy, and it's not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just looking through and I'm like, well, if you wanted to pick a song that was more melancholy, you could have gone with She Thinks His Name Was John from 1994, which a local queen that I've known, a local queen that I've known for a very long time. That is always the song that she does as the World AIDS Day tribute song. It's a bit of a torch song, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's meant to be, you know, on the verge of a tearjerker kind of thing. So it's like, that's why I'm like, my God, like, you could have gone one direction or another, but instead you kind of went like whoosh, right down the middle and picked this thing, and then like it didn't really work, and it was just, you know, it was problematic.
And again, the song is a good song.
It is.
I love this song.
Yeah.
I don't want it on Drag Race ever again.
I would
ever.
Yeah. Well. Oh, I think they learned their lesson.
God, I hope so. Whew.
Unless they're going to do it all winter season and they're going to be really nasty with the lip syncs and they're going to give them all sorts of fuckery. Then I could see this song coming back as like just as a shit show. Like,
fuck you.
Like, let's see what you could do with this. So, I'm going to give eye rolls to one thing. What is with the belching? Shea Coulee, holy cow, Pig Queen Supreme in this episode. The second time I watched it, I caught that she said, and this is where she went wrong, she drank ginger ale and ate Tums together to settle her sour stomach. So she is belching the fuck out of the workroom. But she's not the only one. This season, there's been a bunch of burping in the shit. Like, the editors put in it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing this. I understand the bodily functions are a natural thing. So I don't have an issue with things coming out of the body, with it being belching or farting or, you know, flatulence or bowel movements or anything. Like, I understand all of this, but I was just really surprised. I was like, what is going on? Like, are we trying to appeal to like 6-year-olds potty humor? I'm so confused. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Like, I get why it was happening. She kind of explained what was going on.
Right. But
I didn't need like 4 or 5 like loud ass burps in the microphone. I could have done without that. And I get it. It's meant to show that she's nervous and she's, you know, this is shaking her a little bit because she's so unsure. She's not sure what she has. She's not ready, blah, 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 which is a shade we haven't seen in a while.
Well, to be fair,
But-
Shay is always on top of her game.
Yeah.
So this kind of reminds me of the Alaska meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the same level, but it's this whole, like, oh, we pulled back the curtain for a moment and we see that the queen, the real queen, is not prepared and is, like, shaking in her boots and is very off her game,
Yeah.
which is something we're not used to seeing. So I guess that's
Yeah.
part of her story arc, is to be like, oh, yeah, she's, you know, she's real.
struggling.
She's like one of us. And I'm like, bitch, I already knew she was real. Like, I didn't think she was, like, Superwoman. Calm down.
Mm-mm. Like, I'm just, it just,
Yeah.
I got the reason. Whew. Damn these yawns. Woo. Anyway,
I know it's good.
I got the reason why they did it. I just didn't need all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, I'm the guy that will, like, cut this microphone when I need to burp or something. Because, like, I don't need y'all to hear that. Because I'm a lady like that.
So we'd like to know what you think. And there's many ways that you can tell us. You can give us some feedback, pipe in, express your opinion. One thing you can do is go to our blog, cubsoutloud.com, comment on the actual post of this episode on there. You can send us an email to cubsoutloud@gmail.com. We'd read it out loud on the episode. Or you could just leave us a voicemail, like an actual call, a recording. Send it to us. You can do it as a voice memo, or you can call our actual phone number, 361-COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255, and leave us a message. We'd be happy to play it on the episode. When it comes to finding us online, to tag us, like us, comment on there, you can go through social media to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Just type in Cubs Out Loud as one word. And if you want to join the social chat on the Telegram platform, you go to tinyurl.com/telegram-COLDR. You can join the group of us over there that are having a chat. Right now, Damon put a poll on there and wanted to know what everybody's thoughts were on who the winner will be. And I'm intrigued to know, as of this recording, as to what that says.
Sure. So looking right now, it's 43% Shea Coulee, 29% Jujubee, and we've got a tie between It's a Tie and I Don't Care Who Wins, They All Did Fabulously.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no one's necessarily at Cracker's camp, like
Yeah.
on
No
their
one is
own.
Specifically in Crapper. Yeah.
Right. So it's
Crapper.
either so it's either I Don't Care Who Wins or It's a Tie is like what, in third place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Shay's in first and Juju's in second.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So I guess that's really kind of the ranking. Most of us in the group would like Shay to win. If not Shay, then Juju, and if not Juju, then a tie would be fine, or Cracker. Which really all it's coming down to is we know someone's going to win and we're going to be okay with it. We just have a preference.
Preference. We have a desire.
Yeah.
And Gary, well, do we want to put this in the post show?
What's that?
Like our thoughts, what we think, or do we want to do it now?
We can save it for the post show.
Okay, let's do that.
So if you want to be a supporter of Cubs Out Loud, one of the things you can do is go to Zazzle.com/Cubs Out Loud, and you can get some merchandise there with our logo on it. I happen to be wearing the hot pink version of our Cubs Out Loud Drag Race logo. It has a lovely tiara on it, and it says Drag Race. And we have other items on there that you can get with that logo, as well as we also have a nice Consent is My Foreplay and Drag Pride color t-shirt available. You can go to patreon.com/CubsOutLoud and be a patron for as little as $1 a month. Our patrons this month are actually getting t-shirts.
Ooh.
They've been ordered. So if you're a patron and you're listening or watching, surprise, they're been ordered, so they should be on their way to you very soon. And you should be looking for something in the mail as well, relatively soon, separately. So thank you for being supporters of the podcast. We appreciate it. It helps pay for our domain and upkeep and stuff. If you would like to promote Cubs Out Loud, you can rate us on iTunes, give us 5 stars with a lovely comment. We would appreciate it. You can subscribe on Google Play Podcasts as well as Spotify. Pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts, you can download the whole series. COLDR is not year-round, just so you know. We only pretty much talk about the current season that's airing, and we've decided to basically stick with regular and all-stars. So we have not done UK, we are not doing Canada, and we're looking forward to a vacation.
Yes. So looking forward to
that. So, David.
We love you all, but...
When you're on vacation, David, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to find out what I'm doing, which is basically sitting at home this whole time, because quarantine, you can find me as Theater Cup 79 on most bear-related sites and Facebook, or you can find me as pup_umbra on Twitter. The Twitter is totally not safe for work.
Agreed. If you would like to get in touch with me online, you can pretty much find me anywhere as Garbear73. That's GARBEAR73. If you want my Twitter drag, you put drag at the end of it, so it's Garbear73 drag. If you're interested in the not safe for work stuff as well, there's a separate Twitter for that, and that's Garbear73XXX. That being said, we are down to 1 episode that's left. It's coming up this coming Friday. It's episode number 8. It is the grand finale. It appears that in classic style, the 3 queens will learn choreography and do a lip sync to a song, maybe with some like original lyrics. We'll see. It seems to be playing out kind of in that direction. So I'll be curious whether or not there is a vote element to come. There may or may not be. Whether or not there is, as usual, I'm going to ask and request that you make sure that you are registered to vote in your local area if you're in the United States, so you can do that on November 3rd of this year. Please do so, because as an American who has the option to vote more than ever, it is absolutely tantamount. And if you are 17, one of the 4 million of you that's about to turn 18 prior to November 3rd, make sure your ass is registered, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Like you do. I'm American, American, American. I am American, American. Red, white, and blue. I am American, American, American. I am American, American. Just like you do.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
What a wild, strange 7th, like right before the ending episode.
Yeah. Agreed. I was